12,000 years ago, our solar system was undergoing changes, most notably in the region of the gas giants, Jupiter and Saturn. This resulted in dramatic effects on Earth, including an interglacial warming period. 8,000 years ago, in the Aegean islands of the eastern Mediterranean Sea, a thriving culture was on the rise. At the core of this culture was a renewed love of beauty, as expressed through the architectural technology borrowed from ancient knowledge, kept in numerous repositories and libraries in the remnants of the Chem Empire in Egypt. As the Bronze Age empires collapsed 3,000 years ago, a tribal culture developed along the Italian peninsula, ultimately coming to dominate the Mediterranean Sea. And as is common, this empire, with its center in Rome, would not tolerate any form of competition. Julius Caesar methodically pilfered and then destroyed infrastructure, temples, and especially libraries. For it was in repositories of knowledge that Caesar perceived Rome's greatest threat. In the 15th century, Islamic Spain entered into decline, with Queen Isabella of Castile and King Ferdinand of Aragon consolidating power. In Italy, the navigator Cristobal Colon secretly had discovered a copy of an ancient map depicting lands in the West Atlantic. Devising a scheme of deception and convincing the Spanish monarchs of a shorter and less expensive route to the Orient, Colon, now called Columbus, obtained ships and funding for an expedition. He set sail. 30,000 years into the future, the Earth has been transformed by a mass extinction. Prior to the extinction event, all of the genetic codes of life forms had been copied and stored in an electronic field rehybridizer. This allows for instantaneous access to any gene to have ever existed. The rehybridizing field can be reactivated wherever and any time Terradura desires. Before the mass extinction, Terradura, an Earth-based macroorganism, had extended its reach beyond the solar system and had begun exploring the fourth galactic arm of the Milky Way spiral, referred to as Jacob's Ladder. Using stored genetic codes from the Earth, Terradura was capable of establishing lines of communication and began inhabiting several planetary systems within 100 light years of our solar system. Recent discoveries by Terradura included an ice-covered planet in the Rhone stellar system. As routine, Terradura sent a probe to evaluate the planet. Several discoveries which would revolutionize Terradura's capacity for growth occurred in deep space. While analyzing distant galactic spectra, Terradura identified areas in the vacuum of space with unique properties. The speed of light would vary depending upon unpredictable conditions. Further analysis using focal high-intensity electric plasma discharges demonstrated the vacuum of space to be inhomogeneous. The inhomogeneities consisted of large volumes of space in which many physical properties of matter were inconsistent with known physical phenomena. The implications included the possibility of creating matter of any molecular weight. That is, by imparting a specific wavelength of very powerful electromagnetic radiation, elements could be created which had never existed before in the history of the universe. Using the electric circuitry of a nearby L-class brown dwarf star, massive electrical power was directed towards a small asteroid in the spatial inhomogeneity. Doing so created a planet-sized plasmoid. This could be used to create a nidus of electrical power. As this occurred, several filaments of electromagnetic energy radiated from the plasmoid into space, creating a number of small planets. These planets migrated into an orbit within the atmosphere of the adjacent dwarf star. The star's atmosphere was rich in molecular water, as is common in this L-class brown dwarf type of star. Over time, one of the planets, called Nova Terra, accumulated a significant amount of ice and, in some areas, liquid water. Terradura had discovered a number of planets containing liquid water. In these circumstances, Terradura would routinely sterilize the probes prior to deployment. If a carbon-based life form, such as bacteria or fungus, was inadvertently introduced, it could inoculate the environment. Terradura was fully aware of the potential consequences. The inoculation could, over time, result in the evolution of a life form, which, if given a chance to evolve, might ultimately develop into an adversary.